let's start with the goaltending. Jeremy Swayman, you agree, I've read your columns, is Jeremy Swayman's established himself as the goaltender. Linus Ullmark is due $5 million next year. He has a limited no movement clause. How do you see the team proceeding with this? And is it a deal? I've heard different things. Is the trade of Ullmark going to net them something positive, or are they going to have to include something to get the figure off the books? And what will they do?
No, I don't think they would have to put in anything to package with Linus. I think listen, his credentials speak for themselves. Former Vezina winner. I think it was just one save percentage point off of Jeremy during the regular season. So this is a legit goalie, and a lot of teams need legit goalies. That said, if you look historically at the trade market, an impact goalie has not brought the return of an impact forward or defenseman. So that's just the way the market is for goalies.
Why is that?
Yeah.
That was the thing we were discussing yesterday. I mean, all sports have specialists. Like Major League Baseball has closers, football has kickers, and for some reason teams treat goalies this way. Why is that?
It's a terrific question, and I'm not sure I know the specific answer to it. I would guess that there's some volatility mixed in. Let's look, for example, at Winnipeg Jets. They had Connor Hellebuck, who's going to win the Vezina Trophy. Well, I don't know how many goals he let in during the first round, but it was too many. So it's just not a position that is wholly dependable. Let's look at Jeremy this year. There was a stretch after the All-Star break when he came back from Toronto where his save percentage was, I think, it was over a pretty significant sample size. It was below 900 for sure. It was 880, 890, not good enough. And why? You don't know. I'm sure he doesn't know. So it's not a position that you can look at and dependably say, like a forward, okay, this guy's going to get you 30 goals, 40 assists. It's just not. So, we can all say, okay, this guy looks like a clear-cut number one next year, but you can't forecast that with Jeremy and say concretely, this is the 60 game guy that's going to carry the way. It's just not. So I think that is perhaps the biggest reason. But it's a terrific question. It's one I'm looking forward to asking Don Sweeney tomorrow in terms of why historically this has been that way. But it's been that way historically. It's not going to change. I would suspect that the best that you can do for Linus Ullmark, maybe a second round pick.
Wow. Ooh, okay. That was more than I thought. That's more than that's good.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have a pick in the first, second, or third round. All right. So
we were talking about this yesterday too, Fluto, about the value of having a regular season goalie versus the postseason guy. And it requires like a double prediction. Is your guy going to be enough to get you enough wins to get you into the playoffs? Is he also going to be the guy that you can somehow predict will get and remain hot in the postseason, which seems to be a really tough calculus for any hockey team? And which to you would you prefer? Would you rather have the guy knowing he's going to be the guy to get you into the playoffs, or would you look at the guy and say, you know what, I think he's more capable of going on a postseason run and just having a sustained period where he's unbeatable?
Yeah, well, it's so impossible to project. And I think ultimately, it's if you're looking at the position, you want depth, right? Let's just say they trade Ullmark, they go with Swayman, they go with Bussy as your number two. Well, Bussy, he's yet to play one NHL game. And what if Jeremy blows out his knee in October, which he has done before 2 years ago in Pittsburgh? He got lucky. He only missed, I think, a few weeks. But then what happens? Then you're screwed because, okay, that's a real tough ask to put a kid goalie and say, hey, our star goalie is out for who knows how long. Boy, so in that position, that's where you want Ullmark. But then you look to the playoffs. Okay, we've seen it's one guy that they're going to ride. That's $5 million that's just sitting there, opening the door on the bench that you could have used toward a skater. So it's a real tough thing. But I think what you can at least safely project is that Jeremy's going to be the guy. You can put in Bussy for probably 30 games, and let's spend that $5 million elsewhere because they need it. They need a center, they need a wing, they need a left shot D. So that's money that can be spent elsewhere, but it's a tough call, very tough.
All right, so there you go with the goaltending. I'm going to ask you about next man up, Jake DeBrusk. He's an unrestricted free agent. It sounds like a team would offer him a significant deal. Is that the case? And what's the Bruins' interest? How are you gauging that?
Well, there's gonna have to be some kind of compromise, both from both parties, right? And I don't think Jake's number is going to go down after the playoffs he had. Leading scorer, was pretty good in all situations, and played up, played down, played left, played right. That's an important player, and Bruins need that kind of presence. Now, is he the goal scorer that he thinks he is? Probably not. This is still, I think 27 is the high, so he's never hit 30. So the price is going to have to go down for Jake to stay here. Versus the Bruins, perhaps they have to give. I'm sure they've had a number in mind all this time and term too. Perhaps they're going to have to come off of that. But the fact that Jake has gotten this far, that says at least his side with his agent, they're projecting that he can get a better deal elsewhere, which is probably true, right? You expand your market from one interested party to 31. Well, by definition, you're probably going to do better on the market. I think Jake is just... he's gone through a lot, and he sounded pretty tired of the whole situation. He said he was stressed out all year because of this. He just wanted to get away. So in terms of his perspective, I see it, okay, maybe it's time. I want my money. I want to get paid. I want some long-term security that might be on the open market, and then that leaves the Bruins shorthanded.
All right, let's just go through some names here that are free agents, and you can just give me your opinion if they're going to be back or not. Kevin Shattenkirk.
No.
Matt Grzelcyk.
No.
Derek Forbort.
Nope.
James Van Riemsdyk.
No.
Patrick Maroon.
There might be something there. He said he wasn't at his best, and that's hard, right? Only 2 regular season games after back surgery. So, but he's 36. So we'll see. We'll see.
All right, and Danton Heinen.
That's a tough one. It depends. I think the Bruins would prefer to bring him back short term, at most a 2-year deal. Maybe he thinks he can get more. If he thinks he can get more, he's gone. All
right. Are there are there forwards available free agent wise? Are they going to have to get? Are they going to have to get creative with the trade? How do you think they'll bring in talent this offseason?
Well, at least at this point, Elias Lindholm has not extended with Vancouver. Vancouver, yes, they paid a big price to get him out of Calgary. But at this point, it looks like he's going to be headed to July 1st. So if that's the case, the Bruins would absolutely be interested. That's a very good 3-zone player, 29 years old. Yes, he'll be expensive, and that'll eat up a big chunk of that free dough. But you look at the center position, yeah, that's a priority. Now, if you really want to get looking forward and projecting, well, Leon Draisaitl, he's going to hit the market in a year after this. That is, you talk about Lindholm, okay, the nice player. Draisaitl, whoa, right? That catches your attention. That is like, okay. And what does Edmonton do? Do they risk just letting him walk for nothing? Or do they say, hey, and they might win the cup this year, so maybe he changes his mind, says, I like it here. I like playing with Connor. But if he wants to get paid, he's going to get paid more on the open market than he is in Edmonton. Does Edmonton let him walk for nothing? Ooh, no. And the Bruins have enough to get a player like that on the trade market. That's, I don't know, but you make every effort because those players don't become available every day. So right now, Lindholm probably the best on the wings. You have Gensel. We all saw Sam Reinhart, how good he was in the playoffs. That's going to be a guy who's going to get paid. That'd be a nice ad, but expensive.
What percentage safe is Montgomery? Is he 80%, 90% safe?
Oh, I think he's coming back.
100%.
Realistically, hey, okay, we can all question, okay, those bad starts, first period, those 2 games against Toronto, some lineup putting Grzelcyk in, Forbort in instead of Wotherspoon. Yeah, but that's nitpicking. Overall, you look at the roster he had, I don't know if anybody would say, okay, this is second place team in the division, is going to win the round. He did a very good job.
Too many men on the ice, too many times, Fluto. That's coaching. Come on.
It's unbelievable, right? We've seen it, but you can't. It's not all on the players. On the coach. We saw Lindholm in whatever game that was in Florida. Just like, you can't come over the bench and play the puck. It's incredible.
Well, he's a rookie, He doesn't understand how things work.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's no experience. All right. Listen, Fluto Shinzawa, tremendous job. Look forward to reading in the. If you like that clip, check out more videos from Toucher and Hardy here. For more Bruins analysis and opinion, hit this playlist.